YouTube? So recently on YouTube there has been a trend of kind of ranking things in different parts of your life, of like TV shows, movies, things that have happened in your life, that kind of thing. And today I'm going to be doing my own ranking of the Doctor Who 2005 reboot. Hello, editing Tori here. So when I started editing this video, I have over an hour of footage talking about Doctor Who, and when I started to go through the different sections that I talk about in this, I realized I have so much footage that I figured I would just separate them all into separate videos. So you're gonna get a couple of videos of me ranking things in the Doctor Who reboot, so enjoy this one. Didn't think this would be a little like 4-part video series, but I hope you guys enjoy it. This is part 4, which is talking about my favorite special, my favorite season, and my favorite / standout episodes from each season. If you're new here, hello, my name is Tori Cyclic. I make new videos every Sunday for Cyclic Sunday with other videos throughout the week. If you like what you see, like this video down below and subscribe while you're down there as well. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok in the description at tss6295. Now, let's get into the video. Since I'm going to be talking about everything from the 2005 Doctor Who reboot, I'm going to be putting a spoiler alert on this video. If you do want to watch Doctor Who and you don't want anything spoiled for you, come back and watch this video after you've done that. So yeah, spoiler alert. My favorite season is season 6. I think it has the best full storyline throughout the entire show. There's so many good twists, turns, and build-ups throughout the entire season. There's lots of good reveals as well. The character of the Silence is really well used and effectively used throughout the entire season. I also think from a visual standpoint, the cinematography in season 6 is at its absolute best, and it just gets better from there. That also has to do with like better filming techniques and using HD cameras compared to old seasons, but I really think that the cinematography is truly at its best in this season. So next is my favorite special, and I have 2 of those. My first one is Journey's End from the end of season 4. This special brings together all of the characters from David Tennant's era and also connects the worlds of Torchwood, Sarah Jane Adventures, and Doctor Who all together by bringing in Sarah Jane and all of the characters from Torchwood. I think it's just a really well-written story. It doesn't feel out of place for anybody who's from a different season to be there. It just really makes sense and is very cohesive. The reveal of the Dr. Donna character and her ending is so heartbreaking. You finally get to see Donna's character fully become who she's supposed to be, and then you realize that it's going to kill her and that it has to be taken away. And then the fact that she doesn't remember the Doctor at all is just so heartbreaking. Again, some incredible acting from David Tennant and Catherine Tate in this, but I think it's one of the best like season enders / specials because you get a really great storyline. You get like a closing of everybody's chapter, including everybody from season 2 and season 3 and season 4. You get to like finish up with all of them. It feels like their stories can continue on, but you get a very nice like wrapped up with a bow ending for all of them. And then the second one is the 50th anniversary special. I really love this one because you get to go even more into the history of who the War Doctor is and who the Doctor is before the reboot, because there's that space of time between the 8th Doctor and the 9th Doctor that like isn't really explained because there was no TV specials or episodes during that time, but within the 50th anniversary special they explain what that missing period of time is with the War Doctor, so it's really great having that in there. Also, it's David Tennant's return. Matt Smith has some amazing acting in it, and John Hurt as the War Doctor is just amazing. Also, this episode is a really great storyline setup for the rest of season 7, so it's really, really great as something that fits within the storyline. It doesn't feel like it takes you out of what's happening in the season. It happened in the middle of season 7, and it feels like it's part of it. It doesn't feel like it's something that's meant to be separate. All right, let's move on to my favorite / standout episodes from each season. Starting with season 1, it's gonna be Father's Day. I really love the idea that Rose is trying to save her father from dying, and then what she does when she saves him has some really adverse effects on the rest of the future, but that also sets up the idea that her father is still alive in another dimension, another universe, and that sets up a lot of things in season 2. I think it's a really well acted episode, especially from Billie Piper, because you get a lot of the dramatic acting from her in this episode. You get to see Billie Piper do a lot more of the sad and upset kind of emotions rather than like the spunky and sassy kind of emotions that you know from her leading up to that point. Season 2 is going to be Doomsday. This episode has some of the best acting in the entire season, especially from Billie Piper and David Tennant, even from all of the other actors as well. It's just a very well acted episode fully all around. The final scene on the beach with Ten and Rose breaks my heart every single time. It just shows how important the Doctor is to Rose and in her growth as a person as well as a character, and how much she needs the Doctor and loves him romantically. And you also get to see how much the Doctor loves her romantically as well, and the fact that he doesn't get to finish saying I love you to her is just so heartbreaking. Season 3 is Human Nature. In this episode, I really love that you get to see a softer side to David Tennant as the Doctor because he's playing a human. He's not as like rough around the edges and fast talking as he he is when he's the Doctor. You get to see him play a completely different side of him, and that's just some incredible acting, first of all. But second of all, it just really shows there's so much dimension to the character of the Doctor that you don't get to see all of the time. Also, I'm just obsessed with him in this episode because I think he just looks the best. If you know what I mean. Also, this is one of the episodes where Martha has a ton of character growth, and I think this is a really defining episode for her. It is a two-parter, but this one in particular, Human Nature, I think is a really, really great episode for Martha because you get to see her on her own without the Doctor and figuring out what she needs to do to be back with the Doctor, and she's not depending on him for a lot of things. She really grows into her own in this episode and defines who she is. Season 4 is Midnight. So I've never really had a full reason why I love this episode. I just love this episode so much. It's a bottle episode, and I feel like those are kinds of episodes that I really like on TV. If you didn't know, a bottle episode is an episode that takes place in the same location for the entire episode. I was just very, very obsessed with it the first time I watched Doctor Who, and I still am. I think it's just a very well acted episode. It's a very interesting concept. Yeah, it's just really good all around. Season 5 is Vincent and the Doctor. So Vincent and the Doctor, I think, is one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever, honestly. It has some incredible acting, some incredible storytelling. It's just a very well done episode. Also, cinematography for this episode is pretty incredible also. And in addition, the final scene of Vincent at the museum, seeing his work being displayed after being told that his work would amount to nothing, and it's just a very emotional scene, very well acted, very well done. It makes me cry every single time I watch it. It's just so good. For season 6, I have 2 episodes. First one is The Girl Who Waited. The Girl Who Waited is another incredible episode, another one of the best of the Moffat era. It's a great storyline, a great concept of that Amy gets stuck in one time stream and Rory and the Doctor get stuck in another time stream, and they have to find her and match her up to their time stream, but then Amy grows old by how much she's waited for them to come and rescue her. And then she has to decide if she wants to save the version of her that got old or save the version of her that is the same age as Rory and the Doctor and is being with them and live out her whole life with Rory, or live out her whole life on her own. It's just a really, really great concept. It's also a really great episode of Rory and the Doctor on their own together, and I think this is the one that made me want more of that from Rory because you get to see his relationship with the Doctor. And the second one from season 6 is the God Complex. So the God Complex is one of the first episodes I ever watched of Doctor Who, and I really, really enjoyed it when I first watched it. I really like the concept of the episode where your greatest fears are hidden in a hotel room that you have to find in an ever-changing hotel. I think the acting is really amazing in this one, and from a filming standpoint, I really like that they use security camera footage throughout the entire episode, so it's not just filming like professionally on really nice cameras. You get like security camera footage of what's happening to all of the characters, and you get to see it in a different kind of way for that. Season 7 is The Bells of St. John. I think this episode is incredible visually. The visual effects and the graphics in this one are just amazing. It's also like a better version of The Idiot's Lantern from season 2. This episode is also a great introduction to Clara as a character. It's her first episode fully as a companion, so you get to know her as a companion with Eleven. I also really love the breakfast scene with the Doctor and Miss Kislet because of the acting in that one, and the way it's edited too, because it's the Doctor talking to Miss Kislet, but she keeps taking on the personalities of different people that are in the space with them. It's just really, really well done. Season 8 is Mummy on the Orient Express. I really like the concept of this one, that a monster can find your physical or mental illness and kill you within 66 seconds. It's also one of Peter Capaldi's best acted episodes. I think this is the one where he really found his footing in season 8 and really defined who he was as the Doctor. Season 9 is Sleep No More, and this is specifically because of the way it is filmed. This episode is kind of filmed as a found footage kind of thing, and I really like that for this episode in particular because you really get into the perspective of the characters, and it works really effectively for the concept of the whole episode. I think it makes a lot of sense and works really, really effectively for the storytelling. Season 10 is World Enough in Time, which is one of the last 2 episodes of season 10. I think this episode and the one that comes after it it's some of the best acting from season 10. It's the best episode storyline wise and acting wise from season 10. It's also the reveal and return of John Sim as the Master. So you get a lot of really, really great things in this episode, and you also get to see Pearl Mackie as Bill Potts at her best. Also, the fact that Bill Potts gets turned into a Cyberman is just crazy, and that the fact that the Doctor can't figure out how to get her out of it is also pretty crazy as well, because usually the Doctor can figure out how to get his companions out of their problems, but with Bill he can't figure it out, so he's struggling the entire time to figure out how he can save Bill, and I think that's a really interesting storyline for this episode too. Season 11 is Rosa, which is about Rosa Parks, and I think this one is really, really great because it goes back kind of to the Vincent and the Doctor kind of episode, which is educational as well as history based, and talking about how one person and their moment in time can change the entire course of history. It also brings up the discussion of race and racism, which isn't necessarily ever discussed in Doctor Who because there's a lot of fluidity in that kind of way with alien races and that kind of thing, but you get to really have the conversation of black versus white racism in America and the UK and have that discussion. I think it's a really important discussion to have on modern TV, especially in a show that is very fantastical. I think it's a great way to present it. And then season 12 is Spyfall Part 1. I'm a really big fan of anything spy related, case in point Chuck being one of my favorite TV shows, so this episode was right up my alley. There's a lot of really great buildup and reveal in this episode of him as the Master, and some incredible acting out of everybody in this episode as well. I just think it's a really, really well done episode as the start of season 12 and sets up the storyline for the rest of that season. And lastly, my other thoughts on everything Doctor Who. I really love the graphics and editing, specifically in season 7, in the way that they embedded text onto how everything is presented in the episodes. I'm gonna explain this a little bit better. So when they show like a date coming in to the episodes, they have it not just at like the bottom as a scrolling lower third, they have it literally as part of the scenery of the episode. I just think that's really great visual editing. It's just something that made me very, very happy graphically. I really hate how they changed the title sequence, music, and graphics to not match each other after Clara, because when they show the name, it should show up on the B. This is just my very personal opinion because how I like it from previous seasons. It should be on certain parts of the music that the names of the actors show up and then the name of the show, Doctor Who, shows up. Something about that just really bugged me when they changed that in Clara's era, and from there on afterwards, I was just like always annoyed about it. I also didn't really like how they changed visually for the title sequence to look after Clara's seasons, because they added in like gears and the Doctor's face. Season 11 and 12, they added in the like oozing liquid thing, and then yeah, I just didn't really like how it looked because it wasn't going through the time vortex anymore. I just preferred how that looked because they had it from seasons 1 through 6, and I just really liked how that looked. Again, I understand that they wanted to change things up, make things a little bit different, but I personally did not like it. I was really annoyed that they saved the best episodes of season 10 for the last 2. It just felt like kind of a waste of all of the actors and all of the storylines that they could have done. I just wanted more from that season. And yeah, I wanted more from Bill as a character. It was just frustrating when I was watching that season. I was like, there was such a good payoff at the end, but only for the last 2 episodes. And then my last thought is I don't like it being a New Year's special for seasons 11 and 12. I just prefer it as a Christmas special. I don't know why. I just really like that kind of thing about the show, that they always have it be a very specific Christmas themed episode, and then they can relate like different Christmas stories into it, like they did with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and A Christmas Carol. I just really like that part of the Doctor Who world. I think it's a really great way to have it be a specific holiday special. Yeah, I just really like that. So the fact that they switched to a New Year's special for season 11 and 12, I'm like, oh, okay. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you watch Doctor Who, let me know about your thoughts about it in the comments down below. I'd love to get to know what you guys think about Doctor Who if you do watch it. And if there's anything else you'd like to see here on my channel, let me know about that in the comments down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching DFTBA, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.